Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. Man, a very relieved Knicks-Verse. Another nail-biter. In fact, the game with the most lead changes in the NBA this whole season was played tonight in Portland, and the New York Knicks pulled it out with an incredible game-winning shot by Mikal Bridges. Game-winning three-point shot. Outstanding in overtime. I got highlights for you guys. Going to break this game down. Let's get into it right now. 114 to 113. And man, the Knicks, they needed these Mikal Bridges heroics today badly. For one, the day started out with him basically announcing to the world, through the media, through the beat reporters, that he had a discussion with Thibs about the minutes. Basically, he said, when the bench is in and they're contributing, leave them in. Don't take him out. He called out Landry Shamet specifically. And then later on, Thibs said he did not have this conversation. And then during the broadcast, Breen said they actually did have a conversation. So who knows what is the truth? But we do know what the real truth is. And the real truth is Mikal Bridges came through. He showed why he's worth 5 first-rounders. 33 points for him on a night, again, without Jalen Brunson. We didn't have his heroics available to us in overtime, especially. And let me tell you, if you're thinking, oh, the Knicks should win, they should go, beat this Portland team easy. No, they're not an easy team to beat. Actually, they went to double overtime against the Cleveland Cavaliers. It took double overtime for the Cavs to beat this team. But I have the moment for you. Let's get to this highlight. Here it is. Final play. Over Klingen. Boom! Look at that gorgeous shot right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's called walking the walk after you talk the talk. He just drained that thing like no hesitation whatsoever. And in the post-game interview, Jamal Crawford asked him, did you think it was going in? He says, yeah, it looked pretty good. He says sometimes he fades to the left, to the right a little bit. That time he did not. It looked beautiful, fantastic. But that wasn't the only big three-pointer hit in overtime. Deuce McBride hit a monster three-pointer as well. This game had so many ups and downs. It was quite a roller coaster ride. Fantastic result for this New York Knicks team. They desperately needed this win. Even the road trip to 2-2. They play the Warriors on Saturday, so that's going to be a big game. If they can pull off that win, well, not only will they come back 3-2, they'll also will have gotten revenge on the Warriors. So we need that. We need that. But let's focus on this game right now. This was an amazing result. This is the last time that the Knicks won on a buzzer beater game winner was, I think, when RJ hit that big three-pointer where he banked it in against the Celtics. So enjoy this moment, guys. This is a fabulous moment for us. Outstanding. Let's keep going. The Mikal Bridges game. 33 points and the game-winning three. 42 lead changes, the most in any NBA game this season. Knicks win 114-113. Love it. Jalen Brunson tweets this out because something crucial happened. Something crucial happened. So he said, know the rules, brother. Know the rules, brother. This is what happened. Right here. Right here. Hart traveling turnover. Right here. This guy right here. With 8 seconds left, the Knicks were leading 111-110, and they were able to get a stop off Deuce McBride, got a block on Henderson, who Henderson was cooking in this game. He came off the bench and delivered 30 points for the Portland Trail Blazers. This was the number 3 draft pick last season, remember? So he comes in, he drives, Deuce gets the block. Actually didn't look like a block, like he actually blocked it, but whatever, it was just congestion. And the Knicks get the ball. They're going to inbound the ball. They're up 1 with 8 seconds left, and Josh Hart travels on the baseline. He moves. He shuffles to try and inbound the pass, and they called him for that. Even Breen was like, God, they rarely call that. And even in a game-winning situation like this, it could impact the game. I'm surprised. But then in the replay, you can see he definitely moved at least 3 or 4 feet. That's weight. I mean, know the rules, brother. So then what happened was, then the ball got to Danny Avdija. He drove. Mitch blocks it, and immediately it went back right into his hands. And Avdija went up. made the layup, and Josh Hart fouls him on his arm, so he gets to go to the free throw line. So now he goes to the free throw line. He buries the free throw to get the old school 3-pointer, and now the score is 113-111 with the game hanging in the balance. They call timeout with 3 seconds left, and what you just saw is what happened. It's worth watching again. Worth watching again. Here it is. Inbounds it. Curls. Man, that was outstanding. He had an incredible game tonight. He was 13 of 21 from the field. He shot 2 of 4 from the 3-point line, 5 of 6 from the free throw line. He had 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He got a steal, a block. He did commit 3 turnovers, but he delivered 33 points. He was the league, the Knicks leader in points tonight. All right, let's get back to this. So that's why Brunson busting his buddy there, his roommate. Here are the standings right now. The New York Knicks have now won 42 games. In 23 losses, they are firmly in third place. They are 5.5 games in front of the Milwaukee Bucks and Indiana Pacers. So this is great for the Knicks to have pulled off the win against Sacramento, and now this win against Portland on this road trip. They've evened the series 2-2. I don't know, did I mention already? They have the Warriors on Saturday. They could pull off that win, get revenge, and then come back 3-2 on this road trip. That would be a huge success of a road trip, especially when you consider they lost Jalen Brunson against the Lakers. Oy. It still hurts to say that. But it's the reality. But we know Jalen Brunson's watching every single moment of this game, of all the Knicks games. He's totally rooting for them. I tweeted this out earlier in the day. As Stefan Bondi tweeted out, Mikal Bridges says he's asked Tom Thibodeau to back off a bit on the starters' minutes because the bench deserves more. He also went on to say a lot of other things in that article. And I might get to it, circle back to this later, but just to read this out right now so you guys understand the whole dynamics of this game, how intense this game was, because Mikal Bridges had to play this game with the intensity and scrutiny of what was said today and just exploded on Knicks social media. We've got a lot of good guys on this team that can take minutes away, minutes, which helps the defense, helps the offense, helps tired bodies being out there and giving up all these points. It helps just keeping fresh bodies out there. I've been saying that all along. Since like mid to late November, I started banging the drum, the minutes. I'm worried about the minutes. And we've seen the Knicks fade in fourth quarters, give games away that they could have won. Big games that they could have won, and then just completely fold in fourth quarters. That is the minutes. That is the body. I don't understand how anyone can even dispute it. And now a player himself on the team has come out and said it. So whether Tom Thibodeau wants to deny it or whatever, and he came out, he gave this whole litany in a pregame interview about facts are facts and all this stuff. I don't know. He was like, it was kind of a word salad in a lot of ways. I trust what the players say. And I trust what the players do, because you talk the talk and then you walk the walk, and that's what Mikal Bridges did tonight. He came out and he said, you know what, I'm going to lead this team to victory, and he did it. It was a beautiful result. All right, let's get to the highlights. Here we go. In keeping with the 42 minutes of the 42 lead changes, look at this right away. Back and forth. There's another lead change right there. Oh, no, that was Portland scoring there. Portland played well tonight. They played very, very well. They came out and they shot 40% from the three-point line. 17 made three-pointers for them. They beat us on the rebounds. They're an excellent rebounding team, 52-38 in rebounding. They did commit 23 turnovers. That was a big, big advantage for the Knicks in this game. But that was the Knicks also. The Trailblazers committed turnovers on their own, but the Knicks were forcing them into these turnovers. This is an interesting moment right here. Cat's got to learn to swallow up that space in between the shooter right before he releases. He was like kind of flat-footed right there. No, got to stay up on your tippy toes and move right in. And maybe you block that shot, or at least force him to make a poor attempt. Didn't do it, take care of it there. Speaking of Cat tonight shot 66.7% overall, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. He finished with 21 points, only 7 rebounds, interestingly, in his 38 minutes of play. Only 7 rebounds. Josh Hart was the high man in rebounds tonight for the Knicks, 11 for them. They just, I mean, the Trailblazers just, gobble up every loose ball that comes off the rim. They're just fantastic. Look at that. Shannon Sharpe, he was hurting the Knicks early. He was definitely punishing the Knicks early in this game. He came out, he had, actually, it was more the second quarter. He was 4 of 7 in the second quarter. 10 points for him, 2 of 3 from the three-point line. He kept the Trailblazers around, and they went into halftime only down 2. It was a pretty low-scoring game at the half. It was only 48-46. The Knicks had only made 3 three-pointers at that point, at 13 attempts. And that was Mikal, Deuce, and Josh Hart had hit his 1 three-pointer in that first half that he shot. But here's where the Knicks start moving that ball around. I think that I counted. Oh, look at that. Banks, and no foul call. Mikal just took it upon himself. He said, you know what? I'm gonna lead this team. Beautiful. I love the way he took that upon his shoulders. Here we come down. Here comes Deuce. He swings the ball around. OG with a big 3. OG had an excellent third quarter. Hit all 5 of his buckets. Finished with 12 points. He was the leading scorer in the third quarter. The Knicks still ended up losing that third quarter, 31-29. So the game was tied going into the final quarter of regulation time. Again, it's another leak out by OG. Love that. Towns only attempted 1 shot in that third quarter. But Bridges hit all 3 of his. The Knicks shot 66.7% in the third quarter, 61% overall in that third quarter. Picked up 9 dimes then. Beautiful. They went to what works for them. But then here comes Mr. Henderson. They had really balanced scoring. Kamara had 7 points in that third quarter. Sharpe had 7 points, and Henderson had 5. They were basically making the Knicks work on that defensive end. And they shot 55% overall. So even though the Knicks got blazing hot, they were 66%. They were shooting 55%. So it wasn't that big a disparity. And they picked up 2 additional field goal attempts. That was a great moment there. Great find by Cat right there. So now we're in the fourth quarter. Knicks were clinging to a little bit of a lead. I think at one point they did get the lead up to, what did they get the lead up to in the fourth quarter? The fourth quarter, they got the lead up to about 6 late. Ooh, right there. So they tie the game there. Here comes Mikal bringing it down. Finds Cat. Here's humongous three-pointer right here. Cat had not hit a three-pointer in the whole game. He buries those 2. Those are humongous. Oh, actually, 1. He gets another one right here. Sorry, I teased you there, and now he comes through. So now Knicks are up 6 with 1:10 left. Henderson banks this in. Just a brutal thing right there. So now it's 104-101. Mikal stops and pops. Nice. So now we're up 5, and this is the moment I was talking about. Deuce. He gets beat there. That was the play. He gets beat there. He scores and gets the and 1. So now it's 104-106. Knicks missed this. They throw it around. 24-second violation. Oh, they stopped the clock. This is a crucial moment in the game. The refs thought it hit the rim, and it did not. And they stopped the clock because they wanted to reset the shot clock, but it hadn't. So actually, that was a bad moment for the Blazers. And then there was a kick ball. 7 seconds left. Here's the play. Now this time, they called this foul on him, on Mitch. That was ridiculous. So he hits both here to tie the game. And the Knicks do not have a timeout. Or they did have a timeout there. And this was just a heave. No, it was a prayer. Now they go into overtime. Oh. What's this? They replayed it? That's interesting. My apologies about this. I want to get that the overtime. What's happening? They just kind of replayed. That was funny. All right, so here, now we're in overtime. So it's 108, 106. This is the big monster three that Deuce hits. Humongous. Knicks are clinging to a 1-point lead. And Klingon just tips it in. So now it's 110, 109. Here's the stop and pop at the free throw line. Mikal Bridges, a humongous bucket right there to give them the lead. 111, 110. Here it is. So Knicks get a nice stop here. And then he gets blocked. Oh, that was brutal. They inbound it. Avdia goes down. Mitch blocks him, or Mikal blocked him, but he got the ball. Or it was Mitch who blocked him, but he got the ball back. Oh, that was Henderson. Sorry. Or was it Avdia? Anyway, he hit it. So now here it is. Here's the play. They're showing it all over again. Oh, let's go. Look at the joy. Look at the joy right there. Love it. Love that. Man. That is poetry right there. That is poetry. When a guy who the fan base is struggling to embrace because he's basically taken he's a down tick on his performance that he has had his whole career, especially what he was showing at Brooklyn, averaging 22-something points a game as the main guy. Then he comes here, he's trying to find his footing. His shot is way off. His defense wasn't there. And then he has an incredible December. And then January and February roll around. He starts, is very inconsistent. He is playing the most minutes in the NBA, total minutes. He's number 2 behind Josh Hart in minutes per game, just barely. And tonight, you see 42 minutes for Josh Hart, 41 for Mikal, 43 for OG. And then, there's a lot of frustration with the fan base, basically calling this one of the worst trades ever. And then he comes out and says Thibs should give the starters some rest. He's basically what he's saying. It was the gist of what he said. And it's very detailed what he said. You guys should check out the article. Stephen Bondi or Popper, whatever, check out the article. I probably will do a video about this tomorrow, more in depth. And then Thibs denies that he spoke to him, but I don't think Mikal even heard about that. He's just focused on the game because he's a pro. He comes out and, from the jump, he was delivering for this team. He was playing outstanding defense on one end and tremendous offense on the other. He brought up the ball most of the time. When he was in the game, he initiated the offense. Nice pick and roll dynamic with Hart and him. Man, excellent, especially on a night when Josh Hart struggled offensively. Only 11 points for him, 4 of 14 overall, 2 of 6 from the three-point line. And Deuce, he hit that humongous three, but he was also struggling as well in his 38 minutes. Only 11 points for him, 4 of 12. He's basically making 1 out of 3 shot attempts, but he did hit 3 of 7 from the three-point line. So that's almost, I think, 40%, 38%. But Towns, 21 points. Those 2 big monster three-pointers in the fourth quarter were crucial. 23 points for OG Anunoby, who was also struggling. It took him 20 shot attempts to give you 23 points. He only shot 40% overall. So really, the actual offensive load was on Mikal Bridges tonight, and he delivered beautifully. Excuse me. All right, Mitch. Even though when you look at his plus minus, it wasn't that. It was pretty. I think he had a plus 10. I mean a minus 10. I thought he played some good minutes, especially early in the beginning of the fourth quarter. But then he got gassed fast because the game was very back and forth in those first 4 minutes, and he was winded. So they took him out. Why does it say Matt Ryan 0 minutes? Matt Ryan's not even on this roster. He's not even on the roster. Precious, nine minutes, only 2 rebounds for him. 2 field goal attempts, no points at all. Payne, quality minutes, 15. And Shamet also plays some quality minutes. Here we go. Here's the plus minus. A +2 for Mikal Bridges, +8 for OG, +12 for Karl Anthony Towns. Deuce was a -2. Josh Hart a +3. Again, now that was the final 3 points. So in the final 3 points, Hart went from a even to +3. Bridges went from a -1 to a +2. All this happened right here. And Deuce was probably a -5. So then now he's a -2. You can see Mitch was a -10 in this one. Payne gave us some quality minutes. All right, let's get to the Portland Trailblazers. Henderson, man, 30 points for him, 10 of 16, hit all 4 of his 3-point shot attempts. Shannon Sharp, 3 of 8. And Anthony Simons, who it was OG, was on him most of the time. He is their leading scorer on this team. He's averaging 20-something points a game. Only 6 points in 31 minutes. That's the OG factor. That is the OG effect. He just completely neutralizes him. Now, luckily for Portland, they had 3 other guys step up. Avdia, fantastic, 27 points. I've always liked this guy, especially when he was with the Wizards. I thought he was going to be a really good pro, and he's proving it now. He might really continue to blossom. Trailblazers may have a future all-star on their hands with this guy. He also plays some really good defense. He can pass the ball. He had 5 assists. Really like his game. And Kamara, one of the best defenders in the game. You heard Breen shouting that out. 14 points for him in 34 minutes. But Henderson, man, 10 of 16. Outstanding. All right, here are the team stats. The Knicks, what is the one I want to look at? Here, points conceded off turnovers. That is the key to this whole thing for the Knicks. They got 31 points off of that. They were a +15 in points conceded off turnovers, which is outstanding. Even though they did win the points in the paint battle, 58-44, they did lose the fast break points. Oh, no, they did, 18-11. I thought we lost that. Interesting. Well, we got out-rebounded. We got outshot from the 3-point lines. They were 17 of 42. That's 5 additional 3-point shots made. That's 15 points more right there. So that's the 15 points. We were a +15 in turnovers. They were a +15 in 3-point shots. And it came down to what the Knicks could do in the paint. Because even the free throw line was fairly even. Even though they went 5 additional times, they missed a lot of free throws. But so were we. We only shot 70% from there. Great gutty win. This is the kind of win that could really embolden the team, especially when they're heading into San Francisco. They're going to have 2 nights off in between, just what they needed. I'm very excited about that Saturday game against the Warriors. I think it's also going to be another nationally broadcast game, so it's really important that the Knicks show up, at least show up and deliver a quality performance. And Karl Anthony Towns, we need you, man. We need you to step up big time on Saturday night. Oh, man, what a fantastic result this was. Fantastic result. Let me look at this here for a second. Because I have, here we go. So Mikal Bridges said, sometimes it's not fun on the body. You'll want that as a coach, but also talk to him a little bit, knowing that we've got a good enough team where our bench guys can come in and we don't need to play 48, 47. So he said, talk to him a little bit. So maybe Thibs didn't remember the conversation, or maybe he expressed it in terms of, hey, when the bench is cooking, you can leave those guys in, and then didn't continue on saying because the starters need a break. This is what he said to the reporters. We've got a lot of good guys on this team that can take away minutes, which is in here, which helps the defense, helps the offense, helps tired bodies being out there, and giving up all these points, it helps just keeping fresh bodies out there. Bridges said Thibodeau was receptive, but sometimes I think he just gets in his ways. I think he's not arguing about it. Sometimes I think he just gets in his ways and he gets locked in. He just wants to keep the guy out there, Bridges said. Sometimes you've got to tell him, like Landry, for example, or somebody, keep him out there. They're playing well. Bridges is the poster player. This is later on. He goes, I think it's something you never really get used to. Your body's going to feel how it is every year. But I've been a part of it for a while, knowing how to take care of my body through those situations and just trying to do as much as I can. There's no way you can go dumb hard for 40 minutes every single night in a game. Oh, that's Fry. That's Channing Fry said that. All right. So, basically, let me explain this whole minutes thing. I'm going to take a stab at it to try and end the debate. Okay? It's not a matter of players not wanting to play. All players want to play. It's the coach's job to manage the minutes. And I've heard arguments like, well, the Knicks don't have the quality bench that the Cavs have or other teams have. Well, Atkinson somehow manages to find minutes for his bench players. Okay? Thibs came out and said this whole thing out. Well, you know, when LeBron's out there and Tatum's out there, you got to have your best wing defenders out there, which is OG and Mikal. You want to match up their minutes. And they play 35 minutes or something like that a game. Okay, there's a big difference between 35 minutes and 37 and a half minutes. 35 minutes is a lot, but 37 and a half minutes is more. It's just more. And especially if you're spending those 37 and a half minutes chasing the superstars of other teams, you're going to be exhausted. What are you going to have offensively on the other end? What are you going to have in the last 12 minutes of the game? What are you going to have in the last 4 minutes of the game? Not much. And we've actually seen the evidence on the court. It's not about, oh, well, if we play the bench, we're going to lose those minutes. Yeah, that's right. You're going to lose those minutes. But maybe over time, the bench gets more and more time on the floor. They develop more and more chemistry, and you figure out a better blend of which players to have out there. Maybe they don't get their butts dragged across the court and they're down 10 in those 8 minutes that they're out on the court. No, maybe it's almost even. Maybe they're down 2. Maybe they're up 2. Whatever. Over time. That's not really the point. The point is keeping the starters as fresh as they can be. There are incredible players on this team, in this starting unit. Karl-Anthony Towns, all-star. Mikal Bridges, he's been to a final. A runner-up defensive player of the year. Averaged 22 or 3 points a game as the lead guy for the Nets. He's a winner. He's an incredible defender. Brunson, all-star. Number 6 in scoring in the league. But those guys need a break. Josh Hart as well. Look at Josh Hart is a great example as well. Because he's like the ever-ready bunny. If you guys are too young, you don't remember that. There was these commercials back when I was younger. It was a bunny, and they put the ever-ready battery in there, and they just went all night long. Just kept it would never die. It would never die. That's what Josh Hart is. But what happens is he makes brain farts because he's been overused on the floor. He makes those ill-timed turnovers, which we saw tonight. It almost cost the Knicks the game. This is not about, oh, we'll be better when the bench plays because the bench are going to win us minutes. No, the starters, which this starting unit has has a pretty mediocre plus minus as a unit itself. I think they're a +4 or something. Your starting unit should be +10, at least maybe +8. You know, so when you put them out there, you know they're going to be better than the other team by a decent amount, and that will overcome whatever's happened while they were off the floor. But this team is out of balance. It's out of whack. The minutes has been such a disturbing thing to watch, how Thibodeau has managed the minutes on this team. And now you have Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett calling him out on it. Two guys that played for him called him out on it. Channing Frye calling him out on it. And now you have an actual player on this team calling Thibs out on that. So in any way, shape, or form, to think that minutes are not an issue is very short-sighted. Very short-sighted. So we shall see as things move on. One thing I have noticed is that Mikal's minutes have come down, which is good. He's not the number one in minutes. Actually, it's Josh Hart. But his minutes, I think he had 31 minutes the other night, 28 minutes even, as low as that. But his minutes have come down, which is good. It's good. You don't want to overwork these guys. So maybe Thibs is maybe saying one thing to the media and doing another thing, especially on a night like tonight. What did he do tonight? He played Mitch and Cat together on the floor a couple of times. He had Landry Shamet out there for extended minutes, especially earlier on in this game. He went to He went to a 9-man rotation, 9-man with Precious, Cam, Payne, Mitch, and Landry Shamet. Landry Shamet played almost 20 minutes tonight. Mitch played almost 19 minutes. Cam Payne played 15 minutes. That's what you want to see. And Precious played 9 minutes. That's what you want to see. Now, there was an additional 5 minutes in overtime, but I don't think any of those guys played overtime except for Mitch. Yeah, Mitch was the only guy who played in overtime. So, it's one thing. Thibs, you guys maybe want to defend him and all that stuff, which is fine. I respect that. But the reality is the reality. The reality is he overworks players. The reality is this team has cratered many times in the fourth quarter, and we've needed Jalen Brunson to do major heroics towards the end of the game for us to even just pull off a victory. So all those things, you lay them all out, they basically shout. Be a little more discerning with how you handle your rotations. Stick with a guy a little longer. If the guy from the bench is giving you some quality minutes, or at least you're keeping you in the game, ride that out a little longer. That's only going to help the starters more later on, and they'll be sharper. They'll be better. Maybe they won't fold in the fourth quarter. Maybe those three-point shots that hit the front of the rim will go through the hoop because they won't have the tired legs and the weak arms, the tired arms from constantly chasing guys down. It's really not that complicated. It's not that complicated. All right, that's it. Thank you guys for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please hit the thumbs up button for me. Share this video. Drop your comments. And I will see you around the Knicks-Verse. Let's go.